Hi, I'm Joan Sorita. This year has been very special, and also it has been a very moving year. I've had a lot of friends who have lost a lot of their best friends. And in doing so, I've been able to help a little bit by supporting them with essential oils that I feel and that I have studied that help to open the heart and to ease the passage of one's soul. The first one I'd like to discuss is frankincense. Now, this essential oil has been used from a very long time ago with religious practices, and also they have a wonderful film on the frankincense trail and how it made its way through the Middle East. Egyptians used it a lot for embalming as well as myrrh. I wanted to tell a story about frankincense, and it's about a goat, an 18-year-old goat. And there's this wonderful practitioner in London who's phenomenal with acupressure and aromatherapy. Her name's Nyana. And she went to go give a workshop at her friend's home, and her friend was really upset because she had her 18-year-old goat who was feeling pretty ill, and she thought that the goat was possibly going to pass away. And she put in a call to the veterinarian to come the next morning. And the goat hadn't passed any fecal in 3 days, and it wasn't eating. So they went out a couple hours later that evening to visit the goat, and they brought a bottle of frankincense with them. And Nyana opened the bottle and let the goat kind of sniff the frankincense, and the goat was very interested in it. They hung out for a good half hour, and the goat actually started smelling and licking the bottle, and she decided to start giving frankincense orally to the goat because it really wanted it in its body. So she did, and within 30 minutes the goat stood up and defecated, which he hadn't done in 3 days, and that was a great sign. And he actually started to nibble a little bit, which was nice to see that he started to eat. So they felt really good about having the goat use the frankincense and how the goat was responding to it, and thought, well, at least he's going to have a really good night before the vet comes the next morning. So they woke up the next morning and they went out and they saw that the goat was eating, standing, playing, and feeling pretty good about himself. And for some reason that oil just seemed to get into that goat's soul, and also it got into the owner and Nyana's soul, and they all felt really at peace with the whole transition, and they decided to call the vet and not to have him come because they just felt that the goat wasn't ready to go. And they didn't know how long the goat had, but it was in really good spirits. So Nyana stayed and gave the workshop. It was a wonderful weekend, and she felt good about her classes, and she flew home. When she got home 5 days later, she had a message on her answering machine that the 18-year-old goat died peacefully in his sleep. But they felt, the owner and Nyana felt, that without the frankincense, that the goat would have just been euthanized, and the owner wouldn't have felt good about it, and the goat probably wouldn't have felt good about the passing. The frankincense really allowed a transition for the heart and the soul to be able to let go and feel at ease. So I just thought that I would help you a little bit with this very touching story.